What's going on, everybody? My name is Paul. Welcome back to the COD Brothers Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about next-gen consoles and the price points as well as the video game prices, because I know a lot of you guys want to know that. But let's get into it, and we're also going to be talking about a few other things. But for the most part, some people have been speculating that these two consoles are going to cost like $600 because of these amazing specs that they have. Let me tell you right now, don't believe that. A lot of analysts are saying that it will cost roughly $400 for the new Xbox and $350 for the PlayStation 4. And let me tell you guys why. Remember back when the first next-gen consoles came out, which is, well, their current gen, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360? The Xbox was priced around $400 and $500 if you were in Canada or something like that. And for the PlayStation 3, it was at $500 and $600 without tax. So, what does this mean? What this means is that those consoles had a huge price point that caused them to fail. If you guys didn't know this, let's look at the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 was a huge chunk and like attack on your wallet. It was like just decimating your wallet. But let me tell you guys something. Sony was losing nearly $300 per console when they sold those. So it was a bad market move on both sides. And what it forced Sony to do, they said that they were going to make it back with the game sales. That's how they make their money. They're practically giving you the console, but when you buy a console, that's the hidden fee. You buy a game. That's kind of a hidden but obvious fee. You always want to buy a game because that's what the console's for. Let's look at the Wii U. I know this is kind of off topic because I'm talking about the Xbox and the PlayStation, but the Wii U, I remember reading that for them to break even, they're losing on the console itself, but for them to break even, they have to sell 1.5 games, and then they're making a profit. So, wouldn't you pick up like 2 games? I mean, that's what a lot of people do, so that's how it worked. So Sony had invested a lot of money in making all these developers make quality games. That's how they made their money. Now for the Xbox, they had their fees for online and stuff like that, like Xbox Live and things like that. So I don't really know too much on how they made back their money. They did have Gears of War and Halo, but they put a lot of money into those games and their quality games. So that's how it went down. But let me tell you guys something. The reason why these two consoles will be cheaper than its predecessors, or at least the same price for the Xbox, the PlayStation 3, it had a core processor. If you guys know that, it had a cell processor or something like that. I forgot the name of it. I know what it does and everything like that though. So it's gonna have that removed. They're not using that. Maybe that's why the PlayStation 4 is not backwards compatible, but that's not going to be in the system anymore. The reason why is because it was much harder to manufacture and it costed more. So that's why you're going to see a price drop in this next-gen console. And on top of that, the Xbox was actually keeping up pretty damn well, even though it was said to have pretty bad specs compared to that cell processor, and they still kept up. So that's why they're removing it. They're going to stick with what they know. They're going to get the 8 GB of RAM, and these two consoles are going to be practically having the same specs. But at the same time, the analysts have said that PlayStation 4 costs them about $275 to make, while the Xbox One runs at about $325 to make. Now this depends on where they're getting it manufactured, what other things they have in the system, such as the Xbox is gonna have cable and stuff like that, and they might add some other plans for the internet service providers. Things like that might be thrown in there, but that's the price point. Now, Sony has stated that they are going to keep these consoles at a competitive price point. So if Xbox says we're going to make it $400, the PlayStation's going to drop it down $50 because you want to get that. If they say it's going to be $350, Sony's going to drop it down to $300. So the lower the Xbox goes with price points, the lower Sony will go. So I don't even think that they're going to really worry about the drop in sales or anything like that, because the way Sony is keeping it going, they really want to get back the split. Because if you guys remember that, the PlayStation 2 era was like one of the most popular consoles today, and when the Xbox 360 and then the PlayStation 3 came out, both communities split in two, even though it was one community. But I think you guys can get what I'm saying here. And with that, we had two different people in this market, because Microsoft walked in, they were like, Sony, you guys are hogging up this market. Even though Nintendo was pretty strong back then, they're like, Sony, you're hogging this up, we gotta get in here. That's what Bill Gates said. He just pretty much jumped in to troll Sony. You guys can quote me on that, you can go look that up. But yeah, that's how it went down. And now that's why these consoles are gonna be priced so low, because they're much easier to manufacture, they're much easier to get out there, and they've already established fan bases and video game like lines. They have multiple exclusives and stuff like that. So That's why these consoles are going to be much cheaper. They've already built a foundation upon these communities and things like that. So that's why we're going to be seeing a much better turn for us consumer-wise, and hopefully the competition makes it even better for us. Now, for the pricing of the games, I know a lot of you guys have read Amazon. Please don't go do that. Don't go to Amazon, because then they got the guys that read Amazon, see it's gonna be $100, and then they're gonna try to make everybody get worried about it being priced at $100. Let me tell you for a fact, Sony has stated that it will cost between $0 and $60 for their games. And I'll tell you guys why. Now, I also think that the Xbox will keep it at the same price point because, you know, competition-wise. And on top of that, for the PS2 to PS3 jump, it went from DVD to Blu-rays. Now, let me tell you something about DVD and Blu-rays. DVDs can get scratched much more easy. They're less quality discs, and they hold a lot less. A dual-layer DVD can hold up to, what, 10 gigabytes? While a Blu-ray can hold 5 times that much on dual-layer. It can hold 50 gigabytes. So, for the current gen consoles that we have right now, which is the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox One, the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is currently using DVD discs, which is a huge ripoff because they still get scratched. I have a bunch of PlayStation 3 games, not one has broken, but I've heard a lot of people complaining about the Xbox disc being scratched, they don't read, things like that of that nature, and that really holds back developers when it comes to making their games. So they're upgrading that to Blu-ray, but that they should have increased the price for that. That's a good reason, from DVD to Blu-ray. But from the Xbox to the Xbox 360, it was still DVDs, which was still like past gen, which was bad. But the reason why that I still think the price is going to be the same, if you guys look at the economy, inflation comes into factor. That's why the price point from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3 kind of increases. You also have to look at the manufacturing costs. Some people think that when you buy a game from GameStop, the case, the disc, the manual, the box art, whatever, the cover art, all of that does not cost $60, guys. That costs them literally pennies, maybe even up to like $4 max, $5 max, $5 for that for them to manufacture it. That's what you're paying for. What's really the big meat of this purchase is inside of the disc. You can't just go and get the game off of any other disc you buy out there. What you're paying for is for Sony to invest in companies to make them games, for Microsoft to make companies to make them games. But the way it works is they invest a certain amount of money. Let's look at Modern Warfare 2, because Modern Warfare 2 is a good game to use as an example. Modern Warfare 2, they invested, Activision put $60 million into that game. Without counting the bonuses or anything like that, they put $60 million. And the amount of money they made back from that, in the first 5 days, it hit $550 million. So that's nearly like, what, a $500 million profit, $490 million, doesn't even matter. But so that's what I'm trying to say. The money is in the games. It's not in the console. At least for, well, at least it was like that for this generation, and so it's going to be even more so in the next, because that's where they've invested their money. So that's why the Xbox One is trying to invest in more quality exclusives, because that's where the money is. So that's why I'm not going to be seeing too many raises in the price. That's what I'm saying. And the reason why is also because there are going to be so many exclusives. You're going to have, if they were priced at $100, which they're not, it's going to compete against the other games. Like if you had 1 month Halo launching and the next month Gears of War launching, people don't have that much money to spend. They will buy one or the other. The same thing goes with marketing for movies. That's why movies market like 6 months ahead of time. So that way people put the money aside. Even if it's like $15 per ticket, people put the money aside for that. So it's going to work like this. These next-gen consoles are going to be priced roughly around $400. That's the mark. And the prices for the games won't go up. Even though the Xbox is going from DVDs to Blu-rays, it should not go up. It definitely should not. I know Sony said, they stated it from the CEO, it's not going up. So if the Xbox wants to compete, which they're probably gonna, most likely, they're gonna keep it at the same range. That's all I have to tell you guys today. I hope you guys found this video very informative. If it helped you out, please remember to hit this video up with a like and favorite. Also subscribe, and if you guys want to piss some fanboys off, just send it to them. I don't know why it makes them mad anyway, because I respect both. I respect every console, coming from the Wii to the PlayStation to the Xbox to the PC. I'm a gamer in general. I play all types of games, but when I see fanboys, you guys are sheep to corporations, man. That's a bad look on you. But even though you're representing your console, I'm kind of on the fence about that. But It's kind of weird. Anyway, I'll be seeing you guys next time, alright? Take care. Peace.
You are not in control.